Tables, ladders, and chairs. 3 words that signifies exhilaration and craziness from the participants to the fans that lead us to some memorable matches that sets itself apart. To give a unique look into the hardness of using some hardware, it kickstarted some careers into superstardom as it gave us a peek into the future. So far, there has been 20 TLC matches in WWE history, and there will be 2 more this Sunday. After going through the matches, I decided to rank them all, especially the top 10 matches. If you want to know the 20 matches, coming from my point of view, you can check in the description below, but for the sake of time, I will stick to the top 10. My name is Sergio Jordan from Dispatch Wrestling, and here are the top 10 TLC matches in WWE history. Number 10, AJ Styles vs Dean Ambrose at TLC 2016. This match had Mauro Ranallo on commentary. That by itself is a big upgrade. Dean wanted the WWE title by the time he had enough of AJ Styles' shenanigans. While AJ was a chicken heel at the time, the match was quite physical. No one wanted to budge until a release suplex from Dean Ambrose that introduced us to a new friend. Phenomenal forearm into a climbing Dean, elbow drop through the announcer's table, springboard 450 splash through a table, Dairy D's onto the steel steps. Then we see James Ellsworth betraying his best friend Dean Ambrose, and AJ Styles retains the WWE title. Just look at the disappointment on Dean Ambrose's face. Number 9, CM Punk vs Jeff Hardy at SummerSlam 2009. So let's go back a little bit. At Extreme Rules, Jeff Hardy defeated Edge and won the World Heavyweight title for the first time in his career. Right after the match, CM Punk cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase and won the title. This kickstarted this feud, and with Jeff Hardy won the title back at Night of Champions, leading into this match at SummerSlam. This blood feud should have a satisfying ending, and what's more satisfying than a TLC match? CM Punk started the match using the ladder to do some damage on Jeff Hardy. A tope suicida, Jeff Hardy fights back and dives, but CM Punk moves. Sunset flip powerbomb from the ladder. Jeff throws CM Punk into a table, and Jeff Hardy swanton bombs from the top of the ladder through the announcer's table. They were about to stretcher Jeff Hardy away. Jeff Hardy gets up, both guys go to the top of the ladder, but at the end, CM Punk wins the match. Number 8, D-Generation X vs Jeri Show at TLC 2009. Fun fact, this was the 10th TLC match in WWE history. Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels had a hot feud in 2008, and then you add Triple H to the mix, the chances of this match being awesome drastically goes up. HBK and Come On Baby Chris Jericho start the match hot with some great back and forth between the two. Hunter and Shawn Michaels suplex a ladder onto Chris Jericho. Big Show tries to go up and lands hard and gets pedigreed by Triple H. Shawn Michaels climbs up but gets pushed by Chris Jericho and lands on the Big Show to the floor. Jeez. Big Show choke slams Shawn Michaels onto Triple H through a table. Chris Jericho climbs on Big Show trying to get the titles, but Big Show gets sweet chin music and Chris Jericho lands bad to the outside, not going through a table. Shawn climbs one side of the ladder while Triple H was holding it to win the tag team titles. Number 7, The Sheild vs Team Hell No and Ryback at TLC 2012. This was the Shield's first match on the main roster after they showed up at Survivor Series and laid out Ryback in a triple threat match against CM Punk and John Cena. Now it was payback time and everyone was buzzing about this new and young group. The bell rings and we realize Ryback is one of the hottest single stars in WWE, and Team Hell No were the tag team champions at the time. It was a fascinating thing to see. Looked like these young talents belonged in the ring, and the babyfaces were over AF with the fans. The Sheild was dominating their opponents and the crowd chanted "This is awesome" more than once throughout the match. Shell shock from Ryback, but the Sheild saved it. By the entrance, we see Seth Rollins going to the top of the huge ladder, but Ryback follows him and drops him through tables. Dean and Roman Reigns get the job done on Daniel Bryan in the ring, while Ryback couldn't save him. Number 6, Kane and Hurricane vs Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy vs the Dudley Boyz vs Christian and Chris Jericho at Raw's October 7th, 2002 episode. It was a special Raw Roulette show with Eric Bischoff as GM. All the matches were being determined by a spin of a wheel. Kane and Hurricane were the tag team champions at the time, and Eric Bischoff spun the wheel in front of them, and it ended up being a TLC match on the show. Hurricane gets attacked backstage by Triple H and Ric Flair, which made Kane go in solo for his tag team match. This was the first TLC match on Raw, and Kane started hot, laying everyone out. Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam fight back, Spike ran into a ladder, and dusty elbows from Bubba. We see a throwing Spike and Rob Van Dam flips onto a ladder. Jeff Hardy sets up a ladder and lands on Kane through a table. Bulldog from the top of the ladder, a Van Daminator into Kane, Dudley Dog from Spike but he lands through a table, 5-star frog splash, a missed swanton bomb, walls of Jericho at the top of the ladder, choke slam from the top of the ladder, and Kane wins the match. What an effing match this was. Go out of your way to watch this episode of Raw. It was a great show, believe me. I saw it with my own eyes. Number 5. John Cena vs Edge at Unforgiven 2006. A name you will hear throughout this list is Edge. He was a great young heel at the time going against John Cena, who was booed as crazy in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The match starts hot with a body slam through a table, and Cena fires back with a face buster. A spear from a ladder into a climbing Cena, chair shots to the head, Lita throws Cena off, and then Lita pleads Edge to climb up. Edge goes through a table, FU on Lita, and Cena FUs Edge from the top of the ladder going through 2 tables, which leads for John Cena to win the WWE title. Number 4. Edge vs The Undertaker at One Night Stand 2008. This feud was hot and everyone had their eyes on this show to know who will leave with the World Heavyweight title at the time. Undertaker took control, first punching on Edge and he went old school on him, and then we see Taker trying to do the last ride but Edge low blows him. A splash on Taker through a table, and Edge chair shots Taker while his leg was trapped between the ladder, and the crowd gasps. Then we see Edge trying to chair shot the head of The Undertaker, but The Undertaker this time low blows Edge and choke slams him onto a ladder. Now Taker tries to go up, but the Edge hits stop him, and they sandwich Taker through 2 tables, but he fights back and puts them both into 2 different tables. Then we see the La Familia showing up, trying to stop Taker. They clonk chairs and Taker takes care of them. This time he tries to go up and Edge throws him off the ladder, which makes him go through a cake of tables on the outside. Then Edge goes up and wins the World Heavyweight title. Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys at SummerSlam 2000. This match started the craziness as each team were well known to be part of the stipulation. Edge and Christian used chairs, the Dudley Boys used tables, and the Hardy Boys used ladders. So it only made sense to have all of them together, right? That's what happened. Voila, we have magic. The match was just awesome. Carnage everywhere. The Hardys using ladders for their crazy dives on everyone got the people gasping thinking they gon' die. Guys being hung at the top and being dropped hard for the end result of Edge and Christian to get the win at the end. Number 2, Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit versus Edge and Christian versus the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys on the May 24th, 2001 Smackdown episode. Backstory: Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H lost the tag team titles to Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho on Monday Night Raw because of a miscommunication in that match, so Vince McMahon kicked off the show with the news of the tag team titles being defended in a fatal 4-way TLC tag team match. It started with everyone attacking the champions, a double poetry in motion and a power bomb from a ladder. Matt Hardy lays on the table and Chris Benoit does a flying headbutt but crashes through the table while Matt Hardy moves away. Chris Jericho finds Bubba Ray Dudley at the top of the ladder, gives him a bulldog and basically concusses him, even that in some interviews Bubba Ray Dudley said himself that he doesn't remember what happened after that. They take Chris Benoit away as he is hurt and Chris Jericho continues with the walls of Jericho from the top of the ladder. Chris Benoit comes back and we see a wazza from the Dudleys, chair shots to everyone, 3D from the top of the ladder, and Jeff Hardy leg drops onto Bubba from the top of the ladder through the announcer's table. A twist of fate from the top followed by a spear from Edge, and then Chris Benoit goes up and wins the tag team titles for his team. Number 1, Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys versus the Dudleys at WrestleMania 17. This will always be the best TLC match of all time. It will take a long time to beat this. This match pushed all these guys to become the future megastars that we know them today. After their match at SummerSlam, they wanted to do it again on the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania. Anticipation and excitement doesn't even begin to describe the viewers' feelings. The match starts with Edge dropping down Matt Hardy. He liked doing that a lot. Double drop from the Hardys and Bubba powerbombs Jeff Hardy into Edge through a table. Spike Dudley comes in and gives a sliced bread to Edge and another one to Christian through a table. Rhino comes in and takes care of the Dudley boys and spears Matt through a table. Lita comes in this time to take care of Edge, and that's not the only time she did it. Rhino tries to attack Lita, but Spike Dudley low blows him. That leads to a Hurricane Rana from Lita. Doomsday device from the Dudleys. Lita gets 3D'd. Jeff Hardy from the top of the ladder swanton bombs through Devon and Rhino into tables. Devon and Christian were hanging from the top and they both crashed to the canvas. Jeff Hardy this time steps on a couple of ladders to take the titles, but Bubba Ray Dudley takes the ladder from below him and we see Edge spearing Jeff Hardy mid-air, coming back to planet Earth. Wow. Rhino drops Bubba Ray Dudley and Matt to go through the Tower of Tables, then he helps Christian to go up and win the tag team titles. Amazing. That's it guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Press a like if you did and mention in the comments below if you agree with our list. Subscribe to the channel, it will help us a lot. And if you want to see more content, you can click on this video. Take care guys.